What is going on, Fightful Faithful? Today we are back here with another interview. Today we're with RevPro's Amira, and she's got a very busy calendar coming up in 2024. And really, we're just going to get straight into the questions. Obviously, there's been a lot of buzz around your promo from the other week with Michael and Will, and to be fair, it's very well warranted. It's an absolutely stellar promo, very emotional.
Thank you.
And I'm just wondering, what are your thoughts on just that reaction? And is that like what you were hoping to set out to get when you did cut that promo? Because it is absolutely an emotional one.
Well, thank you very much. That is not the reaction I thought I was going to get at all. It's definitely not what I had planned to say. I think I planned the promo very, very differently. But then it kind of just happened, and it worked really, really well. It went on full emotion. I think you probably tell I started choking up at the very beginning of the promo because I got very emotional in it. And then it just became very raw, very real. And I think it's actually worked out better that way. And I think it's definitely resonated with a lot of people that have followed our journey and have probably wondered for why a year and a half did I kind of stop what I was doing and move over to managing Michael, almost nearly full time. I'm definitely going back to part-time managing him right now. But there was one point I think a lot of people were asking the question why I was managing him and where did that kind of come from. And I think I accidentally kind of gave away the answer, which was after everything that happened with Will, I think it took an emotional toll on him to the point where I think he didn't believe in himself. And I think that he didn't think he had what it took anymore, that he lost everything very, very quickly. Then he lost his the cruiserweight belt to Luke Jacobs. That was the first time I actually came to the ring with him, because I think he wasn't in a good mental headspace at the time. And, then everything kind of happened there. He lost that belt, but I wanted to let him know that I was still with him. He lost Connor Mills, who's his best friend, his tag team partner, very shortly after in the York Hall. And he was starting to lose a lot, and started to lose a lot of his passion in himself. So I kind of made my mission to take him along to the side of the ring and make sure that he physically gets to the ring every single day. So the kind of a agreement I made with Andy, and really try and motivate him to keep going. And then he finally won his British heavyweight belt, kind of got that sparkle back. He kind of got his love for everything back. And actually at one point we had a discussion that I wouldn't be managing him much anymore, that we would try and transition it out because he didn't seem like he needed me anymore. And I was planning to kind of focus again on my career solo, completely on myself. But then he went and challenged Will. Wasn't really thinking about me at that point, but I digress. And here we are.
Obviously, it's a very important match for the British wrestling scene. It's Will's last match in the British wrestling scene, and a lot of people have really took it as a change in the guard in the British wrestling scene. So with regards to that, what do you think a win for Michael would do for him, not only for his confidence, but also for his career as a whole? Obviously, he's already RevPro champion. He's put that title on the line. So I'm just wondering what you think that a win against Ospreay would do for him.
A win against Ospreay would change it for him completely. I think that is the one thing he's been missing. He wants to prove that he can beat the best in the world. I think it's been very, very clear to the audience and now to everybody in the back that it doesn't matter if he has the belt of the top wrestling promotion in the UK and over in the continent. He needs to beat the best in the world, or he's never going to love himself the way the other people around to love him. He has this mission and he needs to complete it in order to be back to himself and back to his full life again. So a win over Ospreay will be life-changing for us, mentally changing for him, and I think the crowd would be just so delighted that the underdog finally beats the war dog.
Yeah. You've mentioned it a couple of times there, the emotional aspect of the match and so on and so forth. Obviously, the stipulations for the match that were chosen last week are two very emotional ones for you, especially given that the way the last two matches ended between Michael and Will. So, just like from an emotional standpoint, does that put any worry behind you for the match, because you know the referee can't stop it, but you can?
Now you're asking all the difficult ones, Corey. At this point, I'm going to put my hands up and be completely honest with you. At this point, I remember the after effect of Ospreay more than the being in the moment the first time. And I remember the damage that he caused emotionally to Michael after, which took months upon months to try and get over. And I have that in mind. But at this point currently, I'm not in the match right now. I can't see myself throwing in the towel right now. I have all these little thoughts at the back of my head. I have all these thoughts that the referee can't stop anything if anything goes wrong. And I think Ospreay triggered, like he's seen that I was triggered by him. And he decided that's the emotional weak point, that like I'm the only weak point of Michael Oku right now, where I could be the one to throw in the towel. I could be the one to stop the momentum for Michael Oku. But he doesn't know that what me and Michael have together, and the connection that we have, like he knows I'm not going to throw in the towel on him. He knows I'm not going to do this on him at this point. So I just think Will has really underestimated the power of like our relationship and how strong that we are and how much I know he wants this. And I don't think there's anything he can do to him that will make me throw in the towel at this point. I think we got through it the first time and we're going to do it again. I just really hope that he does get this win, but I'm not going to be the one to throw in the towel on Michael Oku.
Okay, well, that's very admirable of you, of course. I'm going to just it is, of course, being billed as Will's last match on the British scene. But I'm just curious, the two, Michael and Will have both wrestled each other. Obviously, this will be the third singles, but they have wrestled each other in tag matches and so on. They do have a storied history. So do you think this is the end of the line for them as opponents at this juncture? Or do you think down the line we might see it one again?
It's wrestling. So what I have learned is never say never. If they're retired, they're not really retired. If they say they're never going to do an indies again, that's usually, maybe Will's watching this and it's like, how dare you? I actually am not going to do the indies again. But let's be honest. We all love it and we'll always come back when we say we don't want to come back to something, Do I think Mike and Will revisit each other again? I believe so. I do believe that that's going to be another one for another day. But not for a very, 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 very long time. And I hope not for a very long time, because I don't like it when them two go against each other, because it's bloody, it's messy, it's crazy, and life goes 180 every time they meet each other in the ring. So I would very much like it if they stay away for a long time and I can just enjoy Michael being in one piece for a little bit.
Obviously, like I said earlier, if he does win this, he is pretty much going to be the face of British independent wrestling. Is there anyone that you can see stepping up to him in the aftermath? And if he does obviously beat Will and kind of not channeling the rivalry, but almost rivaling that rivalry?
I think Michael is the face of independent wrestling as a whole, not in the UK, as a whole. And I am not afraid to make that statement publicly. I think he is so talented and he has such a aura around him that no one can describe, that it just makes him the best independent wrestler in the world at the moment. And whoever signs him up would be a very, very blessed company, because you'll get the aura that comes with Michael Oku, and it's very hard to explain until you watch a match. I literally watched it happen recently. We were on the Jericho Cruise, and when we had 3 matches together. The first one was Speedball Mike Bailey, I watched the crowd did not know who Michael was, and they were chanting, "Who's that? Michael, oh who?" Did not even, they didn't believe. And then the match ended, and they were all screaming for Michael Oku. That's the aura, that's the charisma that he oozes. It's just something so special. And I really do believe he is the best independent wrestler, not just in the UK, once again, in the world. Do I think there's somebody that can step up to him in the British scene? Absolutely. I can see somebody that matches him, but it's just a little, that's it, just match him. Michael can still overtake a little bit, but on that level right now, it has to be Luke Jacobs.
Yeah.
There is something so special about Luke Jacobs. I don't like it when they go in the ring together because it is also bloody and scary. He almost took out Michael's eye, literally the last time they faced off. But there is something so gorgeous about them being in the ring together, and it's something about Luke Jacobs that he's only, I believe he's only 21. Correct me if I'm wrong, Luke, but he's so young, and there's so much more to give, and every time he gets in the ring, there's just something more special about it. And there's loads of other people in the UK that can step up. Robbie X, he is just so underrated, needs to have more of a spotlight on him than anyone else in the UK scene. I believe he can step up to Michael, and I believe he can give him a proper run for his money if he does win this belt. I'm trying to think of, there's Ricky Knight Jr., hard-hitting, scary. When he goes into the ring, he is going in to destroy someone. So I really, really do hope they don't match. Well, these are all people I hope Michael doesn't wrestle. So that's how you know that they're going to be absolutely fantastic, and they're the ones that can take over. And I'm probably going to forget a couple, but I'm sure I'll see them and go, oh, them too. Yeah, these are the people I think are going to be the ones, if Michael wins this match, that are coming for the belt. And I know those people are hoping Michael loses the belt, so that way it goes into the Royal Rumble, because what Will has said is if he does win the heavyweight belt, that he's very kindly and graciously not going to keep it. He just wants to take it off Michael. What a weird way of thinking in another sense. But anyway, because he loves British wrestling, he's going to put it in the Royal Rumble, and then 30 men get to fight for it. And I know these people are looking for Will to beat Michael so that they can have a chance at this belt. It's not happening. That's not what's going to go down. So these people are going to have to face Michael Oku themselves. So yeah, those are the people I think will step up.
Obviously, just from keeping with Michael and you, obviously, you've yet to really have an opportunity to wrestle in a match with Michael. Is that something that would interest you in the future as just teaming together? Maybe, I know you said that you want to kind of go away from managing them a little bit and go to part-time, but would that be something that interests you and Michael in the future?
It's one of those things where we can say never. But at this point, I would very, very much not like to be with Michael. I see it every single waking moment of my life. I would love to go into a tag team, and there is something in the works going on there, and the person that I'll be tagging with is literally the most perfect person I could have thought of. I would like to focus a little bit on myself, which was always the plan. But Ospreay, fun fact about Ospreay, he is the reason that I'm dragged into all these matches in the first place. One time I was a bystander watching my boyfriend have a match from afar. No one knew we were together. Suddenly I'm dragged over a barricade, and my whole life went 180. So I would very much, if the opportunity came up, I probably would, I'll say yeah, just because, the once in a lifetime thing. I could see myself tagging with Michael? Probably not. I really just want to focus on myself for a little bit.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Just,
maybe a one-off, maybe somewhere.
Yeah. Speaking on, obviously, your in-ring career, you actually recently won your first championship in the ring. Correct me if I'm wrong. What did that mean for you to finally get that under your belt?
What does it mean to finally win a belt?
No, to get it under your belt. Just it's
yeah. Unexpected. It was definitely an unexpected win. to the point where I don't think anyone expected I would win a belt. I'm not. When you look at me and you look at my era, the last thing you think is, oh, champion. But then 2024 is hit. I'm built like a motherfucker. I'm doing shit that people are like, what the fuck? It is my year. And I came in, I said, it's my year. I have a new finish that slams people. And I'm on a winning streak, baby. This is a new Amira, something that no one's ever seen before. And I'm very, very excited to continue winning belts, continue smashing up people. And yeah, I'm very, very happy to be the UBW Women's Champion. And there's more to come. Much more to come. In ring-wise, this is going to be my busiest year yet. Some of the stuff I'm doing, I can't talk to you about, but it's mind-blowing. I could never have imagined the stuff I'll be taking on this year. I'm very, very proud, and I'm doing it for Ireland. I'm doing it for us, Corey.
Now, obviously very proud of your Irish heritage and just being a part of that scene. You've been in the ring with Debbie Keitel. You've been in the ring with Session Martina. Are they matches that you'd like to revisit again, just because of their significance to the Irish women's wrestling scene and the UK scene, even at this point?
Any day of the week, give me Session Moth, give me Debbie, give me Anita Vaughn. Give me Aoife Valkyrie, not like Kira, but give me Aoife Valkyrie back. I would see Myla Grace in the ring. I'd see Sky James. There's a lot of other girls that you probably haven't heard of that I'm going to name here. There's a girl called Mercy, a girl called Short Fuse, a girl called Morgan, and they're all from the north. Give me anybody in the Irish state, and I'm more than happy to go. I left Ireland about 2 years ago now. And I left it with the goal of getting as good as I can in the UK so I can come back to Ireland. Because at that point there wasn't a space for me where I needed to go. So I'm very, very excited to fight anybody in Ireland and to come back to Ireland one day and show them how good I could be and can be and will be up Ireland.
You did actually mention a little earlier being on the Jericho cruise, and I'm just wondering what that was like for you and Michael, just to have that exposure to a new kind of scenario, something that's just not really a commonplace in wrestling. Obviously, having to go out on a cruise with tons of wrestlers, tons of fans, and I'm just wondering, you mentioned it, and I'm just wondering what those matches were like, what that experience was like for you and Michael, obviously.
I am the worst person to ask about these things because I was drunk the whole time. I will be completely real with you. We did have an amazing time. For Michael, I think it was very life-changing for him. I think he made some great connections there. I think he connected with a lot of American fans, which is something we kind of missed out on a lot.
Yeah.
And I think we learned a new challenge of wrestling on a boat. Well, I didn't learn the challenge, but Michael learned the challenge of wrestling. And it's definitely something you should ask Michael about more, because I don't want to speak about his experiences for him, if you don't mind. From my experience, I was super drunk the whole time. I had the best time on a cruise. I highly recommend cruises to anybody. Hell yeah. Unlimited bar, unlimited food, partying, let's go. On a boat. What more could you want?
Obviously, you've done quite a few roles in wrestling at this point now. You've been a wrestler, you've been a manager, you've even been an announcer. I'm wondering, is there anything else in wrestling that interests you? Any other roles that you want to kind of dip your toe into and kind of experience, learn, just to even add to the things you can add to a company or a promotion like?
Well, you're missing out one of my key roles in the Irish scene. As some of you remember, I was the worst referee of all time.
Yeah.
I refereed 2 matches in Ireland that are known as some of the worst wrestling in history. I gave it a go. I don't really get the rules. It's not for me. And recently jumped in the comms. I've done a little bit of everything, I think. I've done the announcing. I like it. It's not I can do it. It's not for me. At comms, I really, really enjoyed. I did that recently with Pro Wrestling Eve, commentating some of the Irish girls matches and some of the new girls that were coming into Eve's matches. And I found it a very enjoyable experience, and I would really, really love to do that again. I'm trying to think. I used to be a makeup artist backstage for wrestling, so I thought think of a role I've kind of done it in wrestling. Only thing that like really lights a fire underneath me, and I find a lot of passion and enjoyment with, is the wrestling. Ballet as well, definitely in the same kind of bracket, but there's that's ballet, and then there's wrestling, just that little bit more. And I really want to show everybody what I can do in the wrestling scene this year. So hopefully I don't have to do much announcing, comms, or refereeing, thank God, and I can focus on the wrestling and ballet a little bit more of a part.
Yeah, just I obviously we did mention the UK, the Irish scene, and all that. In regards to who you want to face, but I'm just wondering, even people who are stateside on the independent scene, women in Japan, are there any names over there that would like for you would be one of if not the biggest match of your career that you would like to have, maybe this year, maybe next year, just basically any dream matches?
Oh, any dream matches. I always have to answer this one is Mickie James, because it's your childhood love. I also would love to go against Maria. I've always loved Maria from back in the day, and now she's in AEW, so I know that she takes on more of a valiant role, but maybe she might step in the ring with me, because she's who I base a lot of my she was the reason I decided I wanted to be a wrestler, because I just loved her so much. Yeah. I'm trying to think of anybody else. I can't think off the top of my head, but anybody and everybody. There's always these scenarios where somebody asks you the question of who do you want to wrestle, and you name all these people, and then you can sometimes get somebody that you haven't even thought of that is even a possibility, and they're on the card that day with you, and you're like, what? So anybody and everybody. Anna Jay, Sky Blue, a couple ones I'm thinking of now, and hopefully these all come through today. Hopefully, but who knows?
Just one final question for you then. Just with regard, one more time, rounding back up to Michael and Will. Is there any scenario where you can see Michael winning the match, but winning the match quickly and easily? Obviously, you did mention that it is a very emotional match, so there's a lot of emotion going into it. Or do you think this is going to be like the previous exchanges, where it was just such a, like you said, bloody, brutal? Do you think that's what we're heading towards one more time? Or do you think Michael is going to just have that fire under him?
That's a wonderful question, Corey. Wonderful. I have not thought of that, but now that you've asked me the question, I will not stop thinking about it for the next day or two. They faced off once before. I think that went on for exactly half an hour. And I don't think they really knew each other yet. They knew what the other one could do. Then they faced each other again, which is the match that everyone talks about. And I believe they got to know each other very, very well. And that lasted 40 minutes. This time, I believe they know each other. They've studied each other. I know Michael has studied Will endlessly. Michael can name you every single match Will probably had, because the obsession of it has really took over. I don't think it's going to be a short and sweet one, but I definitely also don't think it's going to be a long, drawn-out one. I think it's going to be hard-hitting, scary. Things are going to get broken. Hearts are going to be broken. My mental sanity is going to be broken. And I think it's going to be one of the most epic, insane matches that we've probably had in our generation in a very long time. And I urge everybody to get your tickets, have a look on February 18th. See what we can do. Ospreay versus Oku, number 3. Last time. Thank God. In summary.
Amira, it's been an absolute pleasure to chat with you today. And I'm just before I let you go, is there anything else you want to plug? Any upcoming dates? Anything else that you want to just let people know to come and see you?
There is one thing I want to plug, Corey. It is that I believe you're the first Irish Fightful worker. Isn't that correct?
Yeah. Yep.
I want to plug you. I want everybody that watching this to go follow Corey. Brand new. I really support the fact that Irish talent are getting into journalism as well, and I would love to see more of you in the future. So thank you very much for having me, Corey.
Thank you so much for that, Amira. You've been absolutely lovely. Guys, if you are new around here and you did enjoy this interview, I'll be interviewing a lot more Irish talent, just like the talented Amira here. Make sure to subscribe to the channel, like, and I will see you guys with my next interview.
See you guys soon. Thank you.